Good morning all of you. Let me welcome each one of you to first webinar on planning for building construction as per Tamil Nadu Combined Development Building Rules 2019. Let me introduce myself. I am Dr. V. Kannan, Professor and Head of the Department of Civil Engineering, Francis Xavier Engineering College, Tirunelveli. Let me also introduce about my institute, Francis Xavier Engineering College, popularly known as FXEC. It was established in the year of 2000. FXEC accredited by the NBA and many programs permanently affiliated to the Anna University, Chennai. FXEC is an autonomous institution from the year 2019. FXEC is a leading institute in Tamil Nadu state. Now let me start my presentation. Before that, one thing I have to tell you all that after this lockdown period, we will face a financial problem due to lack of employability. Already the graduates are facing unemployability problem. Now it will be increased a lot. Also, migration is not possible for a job at least for 3 to 5 years. Migration means moving from your hometown to Chennai, Bangalore or abroad for getting the job. Now that will be stopped due to this corona issues. Then what next to do for your survival? That is a big question. My answer is doing self-employment or becoming an entrepreneur in your hometown. That is the only option in the nearby future. If you want to become an entrepreneur or a contractor or a site engineer, you must know the current rules and regulations set by the government of Tamil Nadu for construction process. Because our construction activity must conform to the Tamil Nadu Combined Development and Building Rules 2019. So in today's online presentation, I would like to explain a few things about the latest rules and regulations for planning of building construction, especially residential building. Before starting my presentation, I would like to say that there are number of changes have been made in new regulation for building construction when compared to the older one. The major changes are all the applications for the layout or plan approval will be received only through the online system. So you need not to go to the office and meet any section officer, assistant engineer and executive engineer for your plan or layout approval. Okay. The next change is all the fee will be received by the online method. In the older method, the fee for the approval process was collected in the form of DD, that is a demand draft or cash. Now it will be changed to an online system. Even you can pay using net banking or cards, etc. Next change is layout or plan is attached as a file in an online system. So you need not to print multiple copies of your plan or layout and you can minimize the cost of the application. Next change is plan approval or layout approval will be given by the competent authority. Competent authority means is a director of the town planning office. As per older regulation, the plan approval will be given by the village office, municipality office or corporation office. Now it will be given by the competent authority, which is director of the town planning office. The entire construction process will be monitored by the empanel member, that is private parties. I will explain who are the empanel member and their roles and responsibility in the proceeding slides. Okay. This is a general structure for the layout or plan approval process. The district-wise competent authority is appointed by the Principal Secretary for Housing and Urban Development, Chennai. The Principal Secretary only frames the control the rules and regulation and it will be executed by the district-wise competent authority. I already told you competent authority means the director of town planning office which is situated in every district headquarters. Okay. Now I will explain who is the empanel member and their roles and responsibility. The empanel member is a professionals, that is qualified BE or ME candidate in civil engineering to be appointed by the competent authorities. They are used to monitor the construction activities according to the Tamil Nadu Combined Development and Building Rules 2019 in every stage of construction activities. There are 4 categories that is listed here. First one is registered architect, second one registered engineer, third one is structural engineer, and fourth one is construction engineer. The qualification for the particular empanel member is also mentioned here. That is, for registered architect, you have to complete Bachelor of Architecture. That is a qualification. For registered engineer, you have to complete BE in Civil Engineering. For registered structural engineering part, you have to complete Master of Engineering in Structural Engineering specifically. Okay. For construction engineering, you have to complete BE Civil Engineering. If you have BE or ME degree in Civil Engineering, you are the eligible person to become an empanel member. A formal interview will be conducted by the competent authority. If you fit, you will be appointed as empanel member for the period of 5 years. Then you can renew. Okay. So, in this slide, the main roles and responsibility of the empanel member is presented. The first responsibility is they shall study the local act, rules and regulation and standing order approved by the competent authority. That means you have to know the current rules and regulation for the construction process. Next role is they shall prepare and submit all plans in a neat, clean and legible manner. So your plan must be errorless. Next, they shall submit plan, documents and details without any scratches or corrections. Also, site conditions shall be correctly shown. Next one is the registered architect or registered engineer and the structural engineer shall be responsible for the adhering to the Indian standard specifications. So, you have to know the specifications of the Indian standard codes for the construction process. Next responsibility is in an event of any deviation, the registered architect or engineer is solely responsible to bring it to the notice of the competent authority. It means if any error, you have to inform immediately to the competent authority. Okay. So now I move on to the type of location and building. According to new regulation, the location of the plot is classified as 3 types. First one is continuous building area, second one is economically weaker section area, third one is other area. Continuous building area means a building constructed without any side setback, including row type of housing. It means between 2 houses there will not be any gap. So it will be constructed by the common wall system. That is called continuous building area. Next one is economically weaker section area. It means this area declared as a slum by Tamil Nadu Slum Clearance Board or categorized as a EWS, that is economically weaker section area. All other area may be called as other areas. Next, the type of building. According to new regulation, the building is categorized into 2 types. One is non-high-rise building, another one is high-rise building. If the height of the building is less than 18.3 meter, that kind of building is called non-high-rise building. If the height of the building exceeds 18.3 meter, that kind of building is called high-rise building. Now, important part I am going to tell you planning parameters. There are 11 parameters for the construction and non-high-rise building up to 9 meter height. They are minimum plot extent, minimum plot width and frontage, third one is minimum road width, fourth one is maximum height of the building or dwelling units, maximum floor space index, maximum plot coverage, seventh one is the front setback, Next, side setback, rear setback, and open space reservation and passage. If your building height exceeds 9 meter, different guidelines are given and that should be followed. In today's presentation, I am going to explain the current rules and regulation for the building having a height 9 meter. So before preparing a building plan for approval, you must know these parameters. Then only your plan will be approved without any delay. If your plan does not conform in any one of the parameters, your plan will be rejected. Okay, I will explain one by one. The first parameter is minimum plot extent. Extent means area. So as per new regulation, if your area in Natham or declared economical weaker section area, that plot area must be higher than 80 square meter. In other area, the plot area must be higher than 220 square meter. For easy understanding, I am showing a recently approved layout. From that layout, I am taking one plot number 19. You just look on that plot number 19. The area is 306 square meter. But according to new regulation, your plot area must be higher than 220 square meter. So we can purchase this kind of plot for construction purpose. So the next parameter is minimum plot width or frontage. Frontage means the width of the plot in front of road face. So according to new regulation, in Natham or declared economical weaker section area, that width must be greater than 4.5 meter. For other areas, it must be greater than 12 meters. You just look on the figure. The frontage is 12.80 meter. So higher than the new regulation value. So you can use this plot for the construction. Next parameter is a minimum road width. You know the road width means is a cross-sectional width of the road. So as per new regulation, for continuous building area, your road width must be higher than 3 meter. For economical weaker area also, the width of the road must be higher than 3 meter. For other areas, your road width must be greater than 3 meter to 6 meter is a one category. Above 6 meter is another category in the other area layout. The next parameter is maximum height of the building or dwelling units. Maximum height for continuous and economical weaker area is 12 meter. So up to 12 meter your building height may be there. Otherwise the plan will not be approved. For other areas, in the first category, that is 3 meter to 6 meter category, the maximum height of the building will be 9 meter height. For second category, that is above 6 meter road width, your building height may be extended to 12 meter height. Okay. So next, the maximum number of dwelling units or commercial use. First of all, you have to know what is meant by dwelling units. Dwelling means is a house, group of house in a single building, that is apartment. So for continuous building area or economical vehicle area, the dwelling unit may be 16. For other areas, in category number 1, up to 8 dwelling units may be there. In second category, in other areas, up to 16 dwelling units may be permitted. Okay. So the next parameter is maximum floor space index. So it can be calculated by the simple formula, that is a ratio between total covered area on all floors to the area of the plot. So according to new regulation, it must be less than 2. So for example, I am showing a simple figure. You just look on that figure. The outer boundary is called plot area. The inner one is building area. Your building having, for example, your building having 3 floors, that is the ground floor, first floor and second floor. First you have to calculate the area for the plot that is 216 square meter. Next you calculate area for the single floor, that is 9 meter into 12 meter, and multiply with 3. 3 means 3 floors. You will get 324 square meter. Then you can easily calculate the floor space index. For this case, for example, for this case, floor space index is 1.5. That is below the new regulation value, that is 2. So we can use this kind of building and we can submit the document or application for the plan approval. Next parameter is maximum plot coverage. It can be also calculated by a simple formula, that is ratio of maximum built-up area at any floor divided by the plot area into 100. It will be in percentage. Okay. For continuous building area and economically weaker area, it must be less than 50%. For other areas, it must be less than 40%. Okay. So again I am showing a simple example. From that simple example, we can calculate the maximum plot coverage. For according to this example, your plot coverage is 50%. So you can build a house in continuous building area, otherwise economically weaker area, but not for other area. You have to know. Otherwise you have to change the dimension of the building. Then only your plan will be approved. The next parameter is setbacks. Setbacks means it's a distance between or empty land distance between road to the building. Okay, that is called front setback. If the empty space between boundary to the side of the building called side setback. If the empty land between back side of the margin to the building is called rear setback. So for Natham or economically weaker area, it must be less than 1. For example, minimum 1.5 meter should be given for as a front setback in Natham or economically weaker area. For other, it must be 1.5 up to 9 meter road width and 3 meter for 9 meter to 18 meter road width. Next 4.5 meter for 18 meter to 30.5 meter road width and 6 meter for above 30.5 meter road width. And side setback and rear setback is nil for Natham and economically weaker area. For other areas, it must be higher than 2 meter. Okay, this is setback. This setback must be leave or otherwise provided for the newly constructed building. Then only your plan will be approved. Next parameter is open space reservation. To allot the open space reservation, excluding the space for road allocated within the layout, while OSR, that is OSR, is given for the public park, usually it must be leave about 10% of the total area of the layout. Okay, you have to check before purchase the plot. Next important parameter is passage. If the site does not directly abut a public road but gain access through the private passage or through a part of the plot which can be treated as a passage. The minimum width of the such passage should be as follows. For continuous building area or economically weaker section area, it must be greater than 1 meter. For other areas, it must be higher than 3 meters. So these are all the enforcement as per new regulation. First you have to get the permission for the plan. Next you have to get the permission for building. Next you have to get the permission for completion. So these are all the 3 important process or stages of the building construction now set by the Tamil Nadu government as per new regulation. Okay. Now I am going to stop here. If you have any doubt, kindly send it to my mail ID or chat box. I will reply. Thank you.